everyone. Welcome to The Spot. This is the place to be to review all of the hottest shows on TV. First of all, I want to let you guys know that we are here in Bowie, Maryland today, and we are going to be reviewing Power, Season 3, Episode 4. My name is Tiara.
I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Ron.
And we do also have our Atlanta correspondent, LaWanda, who will be popping in later on during the show. But, speaking of Season 3, Episode 4, we're going to go ahead and get started with that. Because I was on Instagram the night before Episode 4 came out, and 50 Cent made this big deal out of his little scene where Lil 50 was going to be debuting.
It's 25 cents worth.
25 cents worth. And he was going in on the show's producer, Courtney Kemp Agba, and he just did not appreciate how he was going to have his little man showing on the scene and how his auntie wasn't going to be able to watch the episode this week.
Well, I mean, look at it this way. He probably had too much effing vodka, and the little boy showed up instead of the man. So that's what it was. Yeah, he had too much of that. That might do anything to a man's little boy.
Hey. I just thought it was interesting. I don't know if that was a publicity stunt or what, but
No, it was real. I mean, he was really working that thing, and I know he had some feelings about that. Showed his head.
50 is known for starting fake beef, so I wasn't sure if that was the real deal or not. But I did see
it was 100% beef. Just little beef jerkies.
Slim Jim.
Yeah,
But I did see that Courtney Kemp Agba on her Instagram post, she screenshotted the caption of her with her name being the creator, and she said, and I'll just leave it there at 50 cents. So I said she flexed on him real quick. So I'm like,
Okay.
Is this real?
Well, I guess we'll see. I haven't seen too much more out of that situation, so hopefully it doesn't affect the show. Because I'm be a little pissed off if we don't get another season out of
Right, this is my favorite show.
Exactly. But speaking of 50, we got to see his this episode with Kanan, how he is starting to get back on his feet. He's back and he's still going hard.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you guys feel about him and Jukebox and everything that they have going on this episode?
Yeah, he and Jukebox are cut from the same cloth. We see Jukebox, he even had sex with Jukebox's girlfriend, and she said, look, and she was mad at him too, but she was like,
she wasn't mad at him.
She said, you could have just asked.
She could have asked, right? She said you could have asked and stuff. He said next time. She was like, you ain't gonna be no next time.
Yeah, but she has more influence on Kanan on 50 Cent than it should be, I think, because she's all in his ear trying to tell him which way to go, which I thought she was pretty good at telling him. You need to rethink trying to kill Ghost right off.
Right.
You need to rethink your priorities. So.
But you got to think about what she actually said to him. She said, you need to think about what he actually took from you. And when you think about what she said, Ghost took Sean away from him. So I took that to mean, like, you need to refocus your strategy and go after his son. Go after his family. I took that to mean that,
I took that to mean
really hurt a man, you don't have to take their
life. He took his empire from him. That's how
And he took his child from him, too. He said, you chose.
Ain't nobody pulled that trigger with 50 Cent.
But Ghost raised Sean. Remember, she said that in the previous episode. She was like, Ghost raised Sean. You didn't raise Sean. So, therefore, Sean was Ghost's son.
He was spending time. He couldn't do it.
Right. But he ended up being Ghost's son. So.
He said that. He said,
he chose
Ghost's son.
Right.
Okay.
So, that's why when she made that comment. Right. So, when she made that comment.
Why you always on Ghost? I'm trying to understand. How come you just don't let 50 Cent do. Look, that was 50 Cent's piece. It's his problem. Ghost had nothing to do with that. Ghost was just trying to make a legit.
Exactly. I'm not blaming Ghost for that. I'm just saying that Jukebox is telling Kanan to rethink his strategy. Like, Kanan said it would be too easy.
Yeah.
He can make him suffer by going after his family.
I think what she meant was take his empire away from him. Because that'll hurt him more than anything else.
Well, shoot, not really, because Ghost is trying to get away from the game. He don't want the empire anyway. He's trying to go legit.
He can take his clubs. He can take whatever. I mean, if he got it, look, he still has an inside. So I think Kanan could work something out. I mean, I don't think it's. I don't think that Ghost, has to not worry about what he loses with Kanan. Because if Kanan comes back, he can lose everything. He can lose his clubs. He can lose everything.
Lose his life.
He can lose his life. He
Yeah.
can lose his family, and I think that's
We've already lost his family. Gave that up.
his family's still living
yeah.
though.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, he can pick them up.
Yeah,
Call him on
and
the
we know
phone.
that Kanan is very manipulative and that he's gonna come for Ghost. So we'll see how that plays out. But speaking of Ghost, we get to see how his relationship with Angela is on the rocks. Like it was bad last episode, but it's just progressively getting worse. So Ghost, and they're already having issues with him not being divorced from Tasha.
I started drinking chocolate milk again.
Tasha, she's his ride or die, and she was there for him. But Angela, she came in the picture and she stole Ghost away. But she did not realize what she was getting herself into. And Ghost still recognizing Tasha as his wife
Right.
in front of her.
He
proved
said it.
that.
Yeah, he said it.
It's a man thing.
What do you mean?
No, here we go.
Right.
What do you
It's a
mean?
man thing. Possession, ownership.
I'm not feeling that.
I'm not
If
feeling
that's
that
my
either.
man and you gonna be with me, you're not about to still be calling your wife.
Right.
Your wife in
Right.
front of my face.
And you're gonna flex
He had
in
to
my
put-
house?
No, well, yeah, he had to put her, put her in her place.
Then he needs
No.
to go be with his wife.
She had a
Mhm.
place.
Right.
They need
She
to
had a
go.
place that they.
He needs to go be with his wife.
Mhm. Yeah, I wasn't feeling that at all.
No.
And when Angela's sister Paz came over, she wasn't feeling it because she was like, "What are your intentions with my sister?" Pretty much saying, I really don't think this gonna last.
None
Right.
of your business.
Right. Right.
It might not have been any of her business, but,
But
still.
she had her sister's best interest at heart.
Yes, she did.
She did.
She could
And
she's a
she
big
and she
girl.
called it. She put that reality out on the table. She was like,
She could take care
oh,
of
you
herself.
guys haven't discussed divorce yet?
Okay, she
You're
could
playing
take care-
house, but you
Okay,
haven't
so
even.
blame Ghost. See, everybody wants to blame Ghost. It's not
Who
Ghost's fault.
said? I'm talking about they haven't
She's
discussed
got
divorce.
She's got
Yeah.
just as much into it as Ghost does. If she allows herself to be played by Ghost, if that's what you call it, then hey, she's happy. Ghost is happy. Let everybody be happy.
Well, they don't look too happy right now.
Yeah, and I really don't see it getting much better. But
If they go back to the way it's supposed to be.
I don't know about that.
No.
Angela's not going to be down with that.
No.
There's no way.
No.
It's not going to happen. But
No.
we do see how Angela is, she's starting to pick up on things in terms of Greg. We seen how last episode she confronted Greg on still following Ghost around. But this episode, we see Greg is still at it. And he's gone a step further and found Ruiz's whereabouts. Greg is going to die.
Next on my
I think so too. Greg
He's
is
next on
gonna
my
go.
list. He's gotta go.
Greg is gonna go. He's doing
I
way
don't know
too
when
much.
it's going to happen, but he got to go.
He's gonna go.
And not only that, but he's back into the department now because of this. Because he has found Ruiz and convinced him to come and give a testimony against Lobos, he has been brought back on the team in the office. And I was just like, come on, man.
Mhm.
Like, Greg, you're doing too much.
He's doing way too much. He's doing way too much. And he talks about how Angela has been coloring outside the lines and things. But Greg is doing things. He wasn't even back at work when he was pursuing the Ruiz
Exactly.
thing.
And that's why I feel like they shouldn't have
he
brought him
was
back.
hitting the guy Medina up to use his connects to try to get in contact with Ruiz. He wasn't supposed to be doing that. He was supposed to be suspended. So he's saying that about Angela. He has issues with Angela and thinking
Yeah.
that Angela's dirty.
But he's
But
gonna
right
kill-
now,
look,
he's
Greg-
operating like
Greg
a dirty
wants to kill
cop
two
too.
birds with one stone. He wants to get Angie back because he hasn't forgiven her, and he's not going to. Angie broke his heart, his little heart, and he wants Ghost.
He's
He
another
wants
one.
those
He's
bad.
another one who's whipped. Greg, he was
Yeah.
whipped.
But he has a really dark side to his. Like, he is just like
Well, he's
out
cunning.
for revenge.
He's
He
very
is.
cunning, and he knows his, but he knows his job. I mean, I
Angela
think,
drove him to that though.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
threw
Angela
him under
used
the
him.
bus,
Well, she-
backed up over him, and drove over him again.
and
Yes, she did.
She straight up used him.
Yes. And
She
I
never-
don't. Yeah,
yeah,
I don't
she
think
used
she.
him.
I don't think she
never had
planned to.
anything for.
No, I think
never had
she
anything.
liked him. She just wasn't in love with him. Ghost. She loves Ghost. So I think yeah.
Greg
and he
fell
got
in love.
hurt.
Greg fell in love. She was in that like mode. Greg
Yeah,
fell in love.
that's what it was. That's what it
Well,
was.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that Greg situation. I really don't see that turning out well for him. Like I said, I think he's gonna be dead
I
sooner
think
or
so
later.
too. I think so too.
But I think right now would be the perfect time to check in with our Atlanta correspondent LaWanda and see what she's got for us.
Okay, so what do you think about Jukebox again?
I think she's calm, cool, and collected, and I think she's heartless.
Yeah, I think she's a very well-written character. You can see her complexities, that she's always plotting. And then I think I love to see her, the duality of her character, that when she's on as a police officer, she's very professional, but then she's very hardcore and kind of hood in her personal life. So, but she no matter where she is, she's calling the shots.
Exactly.
So I like that about you.
I do too.
Okay, Karen, well, thank you for sitting here talking to me, sis. I'm so happy to be home. We're here in Fort Worth, just chilling. Come see us on West 7th Street.
Thank you, LaWanda. We appreciate your interviews. Those were spot on. But now we're going to jump back into our discussion of episode 4. I want to talk about Tommy and Ghost, because that was like a very explosive scene. And we seen how Tommy got himself in a little bit of trouble with the Koreans. And now Dylan, he's coming back at Tommy. And so Ghost found out from Dre that this was going to go down. So he comes to the rescue.
Yeah, you know what's interesting that when we had our special guest, Bucky Malone, last week, he predicted that. He said that the Koreans were going to come for Tommy.
He did.
This week.
That was a good
What's
call.
up with Dre wanting to take out the Asians all by himself? I mean,
I told you a couple episodes ago that Dre is a shooter. He wants to stay a shooter.
He wanted to get back in on the action.
Right.
Okay, yes, he's a shooter, but he needs some shooties with him to take out the Asians. He just wants to walk up in there and blow everything up by himself.
Hey, Ghost did it. Ghost walked up on them by himself and took out a couple.
Nobody do it like Ghost.
We see that.
We see that, yeah.
And how about the fact that his security witnessed him do that? So
Yeah.
I wonder where that's going to lead us. Because
Yeah.
now somebody else knows about his alter ego, how he has this other lifestyle.
Yeah, you know, his security looks a little...
I know. I think that's gonna. I think that's gonna come back to haunt
They're
him
not
later.
on the straight up.
Yeah, I think that's gonna come back to haunt him later.
They got some stuff behind them too. So
Yeah.
I'm not so much worried about that, but I do think it's a money game with them, and they're gonna try to get as much
yeah.
out of Ghost as they possibly can.
Yeah, especially after he told, the guys that, you're working the club scene. So now that they're following him in his personal life, I'm like, how does that really work out?
Right.
But
Well, for now, I think Ghost really needs that.
He does.
he
need that.
needs it.
He does
yes.
need it.
Even if he don't know that he needs it.
Right. Right.
And I think it's more of that. He doesn't realize that he needs it.
Yeah.
But he needs it.
Well, how about with, we talked about Ghost and Tommy and their whole thing, but how about with Tommy and Holly, how, this pregnancy is starting to develop, and Holly still has not mentioned a thing to Tommy. And I think she's going to be in some trouble soon, too, because she has to say something.
Yeah. Well, first of all, both of them are cokeheads.
Baby
they
doesn't have a
they don't need a baby anyway, right?
They
don't need a
really
baby.
don't need a baby.
No, baby doesn't have a chance.
But Tasha now knows about it, too, because she witnessed Holly pouring out her good wine down the sink.
Right, right. And she knew that Holly doesn't miss a chance to have a drink.
But I was
So-
surprised. I thought Holly would take that drink.
Well,
No,
Holly is reckless, but I think that she has a little bit of
That-
sense when it comes to a baby.
That mother
Yeah, I
was
think she
thinking
really, I think Holly really wants to be a family. She wants what
Right.
Tasha had with Ghost.
That's
that.
it.
Yeah, but
She wants to be in that
That's
And
position.
she
like
really
that.
thinks that she can do it. And Tasha's kind of reminding her, like, look, I have my mom here to help me out, but who do you have?
Who do you have? Right.
Like, you don't have anybody.
And Tommy's not stable. I said Tommy's a good uncle. I don't know if he'd be a good dad right now.
And they are both just like loose cannons. You never know what you're going to get out of either one of them. And so having a kid in that environment,
Right.
I can't even imagine.
Right.
Nutty bar.
So,
'Cause well, first of all, I don't like Holly.
I don't think anybody likes Tommy, to be
And
honest.
I really feel for the baby. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Holly is trash.
Wow.
She came in
Okay.
trash.
Wow.
Okay.
She gonna go out trash.
Wow.
Yes, yes, come on. You don't be taking up your look. That's your man. Your man. You take his money, and you do some little secret things, and you wanna and what?
And we already know
I'm
she's
sorry.
sneaky because at the closing scene of this episode, we see how she has taken matters into her own hands. She has called the Jamaicans.
The
To take-
Jamaicans.
And we
To
know
take
the
out-
Jamaicans don't miss.
They
Yeah.
don't miss, they don't play.
Yeah, and
So-
you know, and by her doing that too,
But again, behind Tommy's back.
Behind his
behind
back.
Tommy's back.
And I didn't appreciate that about her because like you making a decision, that's cool, but at least inform Tommy of what you're doing because she's seen time and time again how doing stuff behind his back, he always finds out one.
But she's also stupid because look at this away. If you don't tell Tommy, Tommy could have walked into that.
Exactly.
If Tommy hadn't had that conversation to where she said, look, don't try to find Ghost, you know, because I don't want you to get hurt. Okay, that was just luck because had Tommy been someplace else and he got wind of what was going on, he'd have walked into that.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can continue to watch that develop. I'm really excited for next week. We see the clips, you know, where they show next week's previews, and it looks like next week is going to be really explosive. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week for another explosive episode.